story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, President Goodluck Jonathan meets with President-elect Muhammadu Buhari ahead inauguration ceremonies. Also with this program, police restrict movement in Abia, 4 other states for rerun election. And INEC deploys 3 national commissioners each to states holding rerun election. Outside Nigeria, the New York Times newspaper alleges that foreign donors are trying to buy the U.S. presidency for Hillary Clinton. Thanks for joining us again. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Goodluck Jonathan, on Friday met with President-elect Muhammadu Buhari ahead preparations for the handover ceremony. The meeting was held inside the new banquet hall of the presidential villa Abuja and lasted about 30 minutes. Buhari was accompanied by the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, John Odigio, and a handful of other party officials. After the meeting, President Jonathan and the president-elect came out beaming with smiles.
We have nothing to tell you today. Formally, we will take a date where the president will come and I will show him around the State House. But today is not for that. Today is for continuing with our conversation. So we don't need to worry the president. You don't need to also worry the president. You have to. but you see that we are smiling. So yes. I will not tell you. But for the interest of the country.
The president said all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano on Friday held a closed-door meeting with President-elect Muhammadu Buhari. The visit comes a few days after he promised to discuss the interest of people of southeast Nigeria with the president-elect. Speaking with newsmen afterwards, the governor expressed hope that the incoming president will include politicians from other parties in his cabinet. He also urged President-elect Buhari to ensure the completion of the second Niger Bridge.
He's not going to offer appointment to only people from his party, because everybody will support him. And therefore, I'm pleading that he also considers people from the other parties so that we can all embrace the change.
Willie Obiano, Anambra State Governor. Elder statesman Edwin Clark wants rival politicians to sheath their sword and unite behind President-elect Muhammadu Buhari. He also advised the All Progressives Congress to cooperate with the Jonathan administration and accord the president due respect until the May 29 handover date. The one-time information minister said at a news conference in Abuja that there is no point dwelling on what happened during political campaigns.
However, the elections are over. But I think I should also use this opportunity to mention a few things in this country. This country belongs to all of us. They are majority people, ethnic groups, they are minorities, they are pagans, they are Christians, they are Muslims, and so forth. We all have to live in this country together to make it Nigeria. No one section, no one group, no one individual can claim to be that he will be able to manage Nigeria alone. We need one another. After every election, we must forget what happened during the elections, what was said during the campaign against one another, and find a way to move the country forward. Not only those in government, but every one of us.
Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jaga, has asked the Acting Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arese, to deal with government officials, candidates and politicians moving with private guards during Saturday's supplementary elections. Jaga said failure of this set of people to fully comply with the laid-down rules for the general elections led to the cancellation of the elections in the affected states. He said the scenario compelled the commission to declare the governorship polls in Imo and Abia states inconclusive. Jaga made the appeal when he played host to the new acting IGP at the commission's headquarters in Abuja. Arase said it was at the commission's headquarters to intimate it with its preparation for today's polls, the polls tomorrow in the 3 states. Well, moving on now, Acting Inspector General of Police Solomon Arase has ordered restriction on vehicular movements from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in local government areas of 5 states where supplementary elections are to hold on Saturday, April the 25th. The affected states are Abia, Delta, Imo, Kogi, and Taraba states. A statement issued by the police indicates that the restriction order affects movement in and out of areas where the rerun elections are to take place, except for ambulances, fire service trucks, and others on essential duties. It consequently advised travelers and citizens who intend to apply roads within those hours to make plans for alternative routes. The police authorities have also warned government officials and political office holders against going to polling units with uniform orderlies or aides. People with no business with voting have also been advised not to move within 300 meters of the polling units. Acting Inspector General has ordered restriction on movement between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Tomorrow in those areas affected. We brought you details of that earlier on. Moving on now, the Police High Command has deployed one Deputy Inspector General of Police, one Assistant Inspector General of Police, as well as 2 Commissioners of Police to oversee elections in Abia State. In Imo State, 1 Assistant Inspector General and 3 Commissioners of Police have been deployed, while Taraba State is to have 2 Assistant Inspectors General of Police and 2 Deputy Commissioners of Police on ground. The Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Imo State elections meet with security heads in the bid to strategize on the forthcoming supplementary election. Correspondent Ajibadia Ofeso has details in this report.
DIG Joe Doma, while talking to newsmen at the Imo State Police Command, said the police force, in collaboration with other security agencies in the state, are ready for the elections and will not condone any act of misdemeanors intended to disturb the process.
So that notwithstanding, we can still go ahead to rub minds as to the success of tomorrow's exercise. I want to place on record that we have enjoyed the partnership, the cooperation, and collaboration of other security services, which I am calling here that what we have done in the past should be replicated tomorrow. In fact, starting from now, we don't have to wait until tomorrow. It has to start from this gathering. It will continue tomorrow and even after the results have been announced.
He further asked for the cooperation of other security while soliciting for concrete information from everyone to ensure the electioneering process is successful.
That the peace accord which they signed during the previous election is still in force, and that any political party or supporter who goes contrary to what they have signed for would face the law. Thank you very much.
However, the restriction on movement within the hours of the election apply to all, including the politicians.
But they should not be seen moving from one polling unit to another, or from one collation center to another with their aides, with their security personnel. So, gentlemen, we should put eye on the security personnel that will accompany these people and get them arrested. Any security operative that is found with any VIP moving from one polling unit to another should be arrested, disarmed, and brought to us here at the headquarters.
He as well warned that they will climb down on anyone who breaks the electoral law. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission in Ekiti and the State Police Command have expressed the readiness for the supplementary election to be held on Saturday. The supplementary election will be held in Ileje due to the violence that rocked the elections. But the police have read the riot act now to would-be troublemakers. Rashid has more in this report.
The April 11 House of Assembly election held into 26 constituencies in Ekiti State would have been rated total success, but for the violence which erupted at Ileje constituency, leading to the cancellation of the poll in 22 polling units, with INEC subsequently fixing April 25th for the supplementary. INEC in Ekiti, however, says it is ready for the election.
We have invited the critical stakeholders and we've told them that the process will still take the formal way. That is the organization that we're going to make use of the smart card readers. The time for voting will still be the same. All those processes will be followed then to the level that whoever emerges, the elected candidate will be declared at the constituency level.
With the violence that rocked the first election in mind, the Ekiti State Police Command read the riot act to would-be troublemakers.
We are adequately prepared to ensure that there is no repeat violence that necessitated the postponement of the elections to tomorrow.
With the PDP having swept the already declared 25 seats, Ileje may be a repeat of the success recorded by the PDP, while the other parties are also hopeful of springing a surprise at the only constituency yet to be decided. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado Ekiti.
Meanwhile, INEC has deployed 3 national commissioners each to supervise supplementary elections in Abia, Imo and Taraba states on April 25. INEC says the national commissioners are to be assisted in each of the states by 3 resident electoral commissioners. These, it noted in a statement, are beside the substantive regs for the affected states. The supplementary elections will hold in 51 registration areas in 9 local government areas of Abia State, 79 registration areas in 23 local government areas in Imo, and 32 registration areas in 10 local government areas of Taraba. INEC has also deployed 3 directing staff from the headquarters to each of the affected states to coordinate the operations, while some other headquarters staff have been deployed to the states as monitors. In addition, electoral officers from neighboring states will be on ground to assist the others in the affected local government areas. The Commission also used the opportunity to reassure the public that it's investigating allegations of misconduct by some officials during the recent general elections. We'll be back after this break with more stories. Don't go away.
Introducing Smart Connect, we get plenty awoof to allow you talk, text, and browse nyafu for tin in the money.
Say you know say with just 200 naira recharge card, Airtel they summer me with 200% bonus to yarn more with any network.
Now you not call me your fiance.
Relax. In fact, I don't buy your own Airtel SIM every day. As correct vessel, anytime I recharge 200 naira and above, Smart Connect they summer me with free internet to browse.
If you want to make your family follow you enjoy, buy your 4-in-1 family pack for the price of one.
Oh baby.
Akururu. This girl too, na family and friends.
No carry last to buy your Airtel SIM today.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, it's the CoreTV Primetime News. A quick reminder of our major story. President Goodluck Jonathan meets with President-elect Muhammadu Buhari ahead inauguration ceremonies. Police restrict movement in Abia, 4 other states for rerun election. INEC deploys 3 national commissioners each to states holding rerun election. You can also get details of all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG. We're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, lower space and news. Moving on now, a federal high court in Abuja has fixed May 4 for hearing in a fresh suit challenging moves by the 19 members of the All Progressives Congress in Ekiti State House of Assembly to impeach the state governor Ayodele Fayose. Justice Evo Chukwu, while ruling on an ex parte application filed by the 7 People's Democratic Party members in the Assembly, ordered that the process be served on all the defendants in the suit. A similar suit filed by Fayose and others are pending before Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the same Federal High Court in Abuja. Justice Mohammed had fixed April 29 for further proceedings in the said suit. The 19 APC members had already served the impeachment notice on the governor and his deputy Kolapo Lushola. Justice Chukwu on Thursday refused to set aside the impeachment process, but ordered that the parties should maintain status quo as of April 23. He, however, ordered that the defendants should appear in court at the next hearing date to show cause, while the order of interim injunction sought by the plaintiffs should not be granted. The plaintiffs in the suit are the 7 PDP members in the House of Assembly. The defendants are the Inspector General of Police, the embattled Speaker of the House of Assembly, Adewale Omiri, and 21 others. Impeachment is one of the tools of keeping the executive in check, and is a fundamental part of the principle of the separation of powers in any democratic venture. But with the recent spate of threat of impeachment, and indeed impeachment by legislative houses all over the nation, our correspondent Oluwaseyi Adegoke takes a look at why impeachment has lost its true meaning as a tool of democratic practice in Nigeria.
Undoubtedly, the threat of impeachment naturally charges the political atmosphere in the society. For instance, the impeachment of Second Republic Governor of Kaduna State, Balarabe Musa, in 1981 was the first celebrated case. He was elected on the platform of the People's Redemption Party, PRP, as against the National Party of Nigeria, NPN-dominated House of Assembly. Thus, it can be concluded that it was as a result of party differences. In most cases, however, the offense quoted is gross misconduct. Thus, any conduct could be interpreted by the legislature as a gross misconduct.
That was if the way the Constitution even defined it, a House member may feel that the speaker or the governor is looking at his wife in a manner that he does not consider very decent. And to him, that is gross misconduct, that can lead to the impeachment either of the governor or the speaker.
The legislature has oversight responsibilities on the executive arm of government. Another question to raise will be whether or not an impeachment achieved desired results.
When they are driven to the wall, they will raise the stick of impeachment. So impeachment will not grow our democracy, but you cannot completely rule it out. We have set the precedent. It will take a long time before the issue of impeachment can be played down with.
The reason for putting that in the first place was to avoid abuse on the executive part. May we not now create another abuse from the House angle.
As in the case of Balarabe Musa in 1981, the imbroglio in Ekiti State between Governor Ayo Fayose and the State House of Assembly has more of political connotations than governance issues. The House of Assembly is dominated by members of a political party different from that upon which the governor came into power, at least not until May 29. Why is that an issue?
We are still learning this process, and there's a lot of mischief in our politicking. We have not met that best practice in politics. But even beyond that, there are times partisanship takes the upper hand, and there are issues by partisan approach, should be followed. If a party is hell-bent on taking power, and it has a majority in the House of Assembly, that means the executive will have a lot of work to do.
But all in all, the question and the fundamental issue will be to take another look at the nation's law to really set each step to be taken in stone, as opposed to the present practice of leaving it in the hands of people who may not necessarily have public good as the overriding motive behind such moves. Oluwaseyi Adigoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Residents of Kaduna State have again commended the Independent National Electoral Commission for a successful conduct of the 2015 general election. They specifically said the election brought in good and capable politicians into office. Amina Nebi has more in this report presented from our studio.
It's over 30 days since the general elections, but residents of Kaduna are filled with great expectations. Many of them, especially in the metropolis, also complained about the attitude of outgoing politicians. Mohammed Salisu is physically challenged and is not particularly happy with politicians, but he seems to have some trust in President-elect Muhammadu Buhari.
Our bill is on sign since 2011, and it has been read, first reading, second reading, and third reading. It is in front of the present president, but up to now, the bill hasn't been signed off to this time.
Civil servants in Kaduna, for their part, are quite expectant, especially with a new party taking charge of the state for the first time since 1999.
I'm expecting progress, good change in our country, Nigeria, and we pray that God will help him to do a greater thing.
My expectation is that I know that with the changes in government, we are expecting that things will be better. Well, people may say that nothing is going to happen like as we expected. But me, I have the hope that something good will be happening to this country.
If this incoming administration come into power, there should be justice and fair play. It is not you are my brother, you are my sister, we are from the same religion, or we are from the same ethnicity. That has been our major block problem. If the president-elect will handle that squarely, because any law you want to implement today must start from number one citizen. Once it starts from there, it goes down the line.
For now, many residents, irrespective of religion or tribe, are celebrating the dawn of a new government at state and federal levels.
Members of those civil society organizations have demanded full compensation for the family of late Chibuke Ede, who died while in police custody, following alleged negligence on the part of the Nigeria police, who detained him following an allegation of death by his employer's Protea Hotel in Benin. Our correspondent has this update on the issue.
40 days ago, Chibike Ede, a 23-year-old porter and former staff of Protea Hotel, lost his life while in police custody following detention after allegation of theft by his employers. The family, on hearing of his death, alleged foul play due to what they described as inconsistencies in the account given by the police. But today, these activists have again taken to the streets to demand compensation for his family. They took the fight to the doorstep of his former employers, Protea Hotel in Benin, dropping a symbolic coffin to drive home their point.
The message is very clear. Until we get the kind of justice that is acceptable, at minimum, to that family and to the rest of society, we will continue this struggle.
Yes! He said, if you see Kiamo Pia, then look out for jail for Abuja. There is no force that can stop a people who are resolved. And an injury to one.
At the Protea Hotel premises, with a detachment of police operators looking on to meet any act of violence in the bud, the protesters had a field day, chanting solidarity songs with various placards. This got guests and staff of the hotel curious, with some peeping through the windows. The group also vowed to take their protest to the State Police Command headquarters and the Department of State Security, while also making a stopover at the State Council Secretariat of the Nigeria Union of Journalists.
Policemen attached to the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority and 2 other persons died on Friday morning in a crash involving a truck and a bus at Magboro along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. A police source told a correspondent that the trailer lost control at the Magboro bus stop around 5:30 in the morning and rammed into a Mitsubishi bus, killing the 3 occupants at the rear seat of the bus. Officers of the Mowe unit of the FRSC who arrived at the scene said the police had attended to the crash before their arrival. The leadership crisis rocking the Nigerian Labour Congress at the national level has again reared its head with the emergence of 2 state leadership of the Congress in Kwara State. Rashid has more in this report.
With the leadership crisis rocking the Nigeria Labour Congress at the national level showing no signs of back down, their loyalists and supporters have also been holding factional congresses all over the country. Latest in the line of states with factional leadership is Kwara. While the state chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress in the state, Farouk Akambi, seems to have the state government support, the Director General of Premier Labour Training Institute, John Olanrewaju, also put a stamp of approval with his speech.
There are mechanisms for organization to resolve conflicts. And since NSC has been part of a social partner that uses the instrumentality of social dialogue, this is the time that the leadership is being put into test. So we expect that NSC, being the representative of workers in Nigeria, should be able to provide a common front. And that means that they cannot be a divided house. So I believe that the NSC will within itself resolve this problem.
The president-elect of the union, represented by the Assistant General Secretary Chinwe Ewurum, condemned what she describes as breaking up of the Labour family.
Fortunately, we found it happening in our domain. But I must tell you that the NSC leadership also taking concrete steps to ensure that the issue is resolved as soon as possible. We have set up a reconciliatory committee and they've called for meetings. And I know they're doing everything humanly possible to make sure it's sorted out. I know people will have grievances at the end of elections, but I don't think it should result to having fractions and all. So I think in the NLC, it's high time we all say, when you win, or definitely when you go in a contest, I think we should all accept in the spirit of sportsmanship. When you're going for a contest, one person definitely will emerge a winner.
But undeterred, the other faction led by Bamidele Aloigbe also had their congress. The two factional chairmen thanked the Labour family for their support, while they also explained margins as chairman. The outgoing chairman, Farouk Akonbi, however, urged the labor union in Kwaras to stay as one family and not let evildoers break the family into pieces. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ilorin.
The World Bank has approved a credit of $500 million for Nigeria as part of efforts to improve maternal and childcare health services in the country. A statement from the bank indicates that the new development financing will help achieve the Saving 1 Million Lives initiative launched by the Nigerian government in 2012. It noted that the funding will utilize the program for results instrument to encourage greater focus on results, increase accountability, foster innovation, among others. The bank hopes that the funds would help reduce maternal and child mortality in a country which accounts for 14% of all annual maternal deaths worldwide and is second only to India. The World Bank expects the Federal Ministry of Health to implement the program in conjunction with the Ministry of Finance from August 1, 2015 to December 2019. You're on to CoreTV Primetime News. We'll be back with business, sports and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
The House of Representatives said on Friday that it approved 145 billion naira for fuel subsidy in the 2015 budget. It said 100 billion naira was approved for petrol subsidy, while the balance of 45 billion naira was for kerosene subsidy. Deputy House spokesman Victor Ogene, who made the clarification in Abuja, explained that the 145 billion naira was embedded in the revenue framework of the 4.4 trillion naira budget the House passed on Thursday for 2015. According to Ogene, both items, alongside some others, were contained in the revenue framework upon which the 2015 appropriation bill was predicated, adding that speculations arose because provisions for full subsidy was not part of proposals considered for ministries, departments and agencies of government by the House on Thursday. Now let's join Sabena Izoku for the stock market report.
New stock market report.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Sabena Izoku. The equities market on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today as the Nigerian All-Shares Index depreciated by 0.02% to close at 34,485.72 basis points. The market capitalization declined to close at 11.7 trillion naira. In all, the total volume of 429.1 million units of shares valued at 4.1 billion naira were exchanged in 4,691 deals. On the gainers side, West African Production Company topped the gainers chart, followed by Unilever, PZ Carson, Stanbic IBTC and Okomo Oil.
On the flip side, Total topped the chart, followed by Nigerian breweries Can Oil, 40 Oil, and Wando Oil. Meanwhile, United Bank for Africa topped the traders chart, followed by International Energies Insurance, First Bank Nigerian Holdings, Sterling Bank, and Diamond Bank. Just before we wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today. I am Savannah Izoku.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report.
On sports tonight, Stephen Keshi has insisted Flying Eagles stars tipped to now play at full international level must prove themselves when they get their chance with the Super Eagles. Flying Eagles captain Musa Mohammed, Manchester City starlet Kelechi Iheanacho, Isaac Success from Granada, and Taiwo Awoniyi are widely believed to be ripe for the Eagles after some of them masterminded a 7th OIC title for Nigeria last month. And the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, has now charged Keshi to ensure a seamless transition of players in the under-20 to the Super Eagles upon signing a fresh 2-year contract. Keshi has now stated that the players would have to fight for shirts and show conviction that they're matured to handle the pressure in the national team. The League Management Council, the LMC, has announced the winners of this season's league will smile home with much improved cumulative sum of a whopping 80 million naira. LMC Chairman Shehu Diko made the disclosure to journalists on Friday. He said the LMC will also give teams who get away win 250,000 naira, away draw 100,000 naira, and even reward teams for fans turnout. This season, the Nigeria Premier League has already recorded 5 wins in the last 2 rounds of matches, with the Yimba, Giwa, Wiki Tourists, Hotland, and Abia Warriors all taking maximum points on the road. Barcelona have been drawn against Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich in the Champions League semi-finals. The last 4 tie series, Juventus in their first semi-final since 2003 face Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid, the defending champions. The first legs will be played on 5 and 6 May, with the return matches a week later. In the Europa League, hopers Sevilla face Fiorentina, with Rafa Benitez Napoli are up against Ukraine's Dnipro. Bayern boss Guardiola won 13 trophies as a manager, including the Champions League in 2009 and 2011 during 4 years at Barcelona. Tickets for the mega fight between Floyd Mayweather and Pani Pacquiao finally hit the market on Thursday and sold out within seconds. After weeks of behind-the-scenes negotiations between the fighters' camps and much speculation, the coveted tickets went on sale, and as expected, they were not cheap. Prices on Ticketmaster ranged between $1,500 to $7,500, and those tickets were snapped up in a matter of seconds. The MGM Grand in Las Vegas is expected to pack in close to $16,500 for the fight, but estimates had only 500 to 1,000 tickets going on sale to the public, with the rest earmarked for the 2 fighters, the casino, sponsors, and promoters. 6-time Olympic champion Usain Bolt says Tyson Gay should be kicked out of athletics, and says that the decision to give him only a year ban was the stupidest thing he's had. Gay was caught using anabolic steroids in 2013 and was given a year ban by the United States Anti-Doping Agency, having cooperated with their investigation. He has since returned to competition and is expected to line up alongside Bolt at the World Championships in Beijing this summer. But the fastest man in history is deeply unhappy that the second fastest has been allowed back on track. We'll take another break now, and I'll be back with stories outside Nigeria. Stay with me.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Outside Nigeria, following up on charges contained in the forthcoming book called Clinton Cash by a conservative activist, the New York Times on Thursday virtually validated its central allegation that foreign donors and Russians in particular funneled money into the Clinton Foundation in an effort to buy influence in a potential Hillary Clinton presidency. The principal story details how Russians gradually assumed control of a Canadian uranium mining company called Uranium One, even as its chairman used his family foundation to make 4 donations totaling $2.35 million to the Clinton Foundation. Shortly after the Russians announced their intention to acquire a majority stake in Uranium One, Bill Clinton received $500,000 for a Moscow speech from a Russian bank, with links to the Kremlin that was promoting Uranium One stock. The charges of foreign and in particular Russia infiltration into the U.S. political system has echoes of 2 of the most popular television dramas in America today, House of Cards, which centers on an unscrupulous political couple that ascends to the White House in a no-holds-barred career, and The Americans, centering on a pair Russian spies who infiltrate U.S. by posing as a regular workday American couple outside Washington, D.C. The charges are being vigorously contested by the Clinton campaign, which sees it as part of a right-wing conspiracy that the former First Lady has spoken of in the past. British Prime Minister David Cameron's advisors thought his economic record would have delivered a solid poll lead by now. Instead, as the May 7 election approaches, the polls are largely static and a new strategy is being tested. The absence of a breakthrough coupled with a stronger than expected performance from Edi Miliband, the head of the opposition Labour Party, is dampening the mood in Cameron's centre-right Conservative Party. The election, which could determine Britain's place in the European Union and Scotland's future in the United Kingdom, is the closest since the 1970s, with the 2 main parties unable to open up a clear lead. That indeed has prompted both to run heavily scripted campaigns. So far, there have been no gaffes or colorful incidents. Disrupting voter behavior this time around is the rise of former fringe parties such as anti-EU UK Independence Party and the Scottish National Party. Cameron's camp had been banking on a simple message to return it to office, that the Conservatives, who have presided over an economic recovery, offer solid financial stewardship compared to the chaos of left-wing Labour, which left Britain with significant debt when it left power in 2010. To end CoreTV Primetime News tonight, a reminder of our major stories. Reported that President Goodluck Jonathan has met with President-elect Muhammadu Buhari ahead inauguration ceremonies. Police has restricted movement in Abia, 4 other states for rerun election. And the Independent National Electoral Commission has deployed 3 national commissioners each to states holding rerun election tomorrow. On behalf of everyone here, it's good night. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.